So there really are 4 pillars to this, and the first I'll focus on is actionable data. The hub of experiences to customers is really trying to understand and build within the framework of data to enable the experiences. And what that really means is data is just a big word because data is big. So really what you really want to do to start this process is just start small. There's there's just so much information out there about customers, whether it's a known customer or an unknown individual out there in the world of the web. But so you really want to understand who it is that you are trying to reach, the data that you may know about that individual or about the behaviors of people who are visiting your site, and try to stitch and learn about those customers. So, again, it's starting small. You don't want to boil the ocean because it's just too much to try to take on as you start to get into the space of true customer maturity. So you start small. You might start with customer data that and first-party data around people who have opted in, and the traditional who I know. You might start with behavioral data that is related to people that you don't know, but their interactions based on their cookies or experiences on site. And you want to stitch and learn. So the goal is to stitch that known customer and the unknown customers so that you know who that person is, and really start to use that to learn based on your behaviors. And then you continue to grow. You want that foundation for data to build it within that in a single source and a single reference point, so that you can learn and apply those learnings through that experience. And pretty critical to data is governance. So a lot of times, and this has always been a challenge in the industry from a data perspective, is you're only as good as the data that you have and what you know. And so you really want to ensure that not only are you identifying the sources of information needed to understand your customers, but you want to apply governance to ensure that you have the best quality information about them so that you're really targeting them and speaking to them based on what is quality information about those customers. So again, actionable data, what does that mean? It's, taking in the information, stitching it together, start small, continue to grow based on your focus areas, and ensure that you have a governance model in there so that it doesn't grow stale, it doesn't grow old, and it is truly actionable for the enablement of your customer experiences. So content is from my experience in my historical data world, it's just another form of data. But it is described as content, but it's information that allows you to target your messages. Dynamic content allows you to personalize per the data. So you need your data to know who it is that you're speaking to, and you need your content to be able to be flexible enough to speak to them based on their behaviors or motivators. So what it starts with and what does it take is a clear content strategy. So you want to focus on the person, your message, and the brand. So the true experiences for customers is they don't want to look at, and I think we all know this, they don't want to look at brochureware anymore. They want that message and that content to be applicable to me as a person, as a consumer in that particular moment. I want it served up wherever I'm coming in from. So clear content strategy, focusing on that person, their motivators, keeping your message and your branding consistent, but ensuring that it's a clear message regardless of platform, regardless of the channel for which you are delivering that. So it's really, if you have your strategy and you have what you want to talk about, the platform and the technology comes second. It's truly, the technology is only as good as your strategy is aligned. And there's call it three T's of dynamic content: having a clear taxonomy, structured tagging within your data, or the content. And then that allows you to enable those tailored experiences. So call it the 3 T's: taxonomy, tagging, and tailoring of those experiences. So at the end of the day, it comes back to the person, and technology and the platforms is a vehicle to bring it all to life. And then if you have a clear strategy, you can be tech agnostic or channel agnostic in the delivery. And that's the power of some of these platforms, like the platforms that we here at R2I bring to life. The third pillar for orchestrating customer experiences comes down to the journey. And this is something that just has continued to evolve in the past world. We used to talk about the right message, the right time, and the right channel. And it's no longer the right channel. It's really just the right message at the right time for me as a consumer. Right? I am much more, consumers are looking for more, they expect more. And so really that journey needs to evolve to target those behaviors of me as an individual, and having that content strategy and actionable data allows you to bring those customer journeys to life. So learning is key. You're no longer linear, right? No longer can we say, here's our roadmap of a path that a customer would take. We as marketers do not control the narrative. The customer controls the narrative. And that's a pretty important maturity for where the industry and our digital transformation has really forced us to, take a step back, think about what that means, and truly creating a foundation that allows you to orchestrate those experiences and truly deliver that content to that individual at the right time with the right message. So what can we control in that journey? We can control the process. We can control the ability and the orchestration required to, adapt to real-time learnings. And we need to ensure that we have a framework to quickly curate that content so that you are really nimble, no longer rigid. And here is my brochure, and I'm going to push it out. Here is what you want to get to is, here is my content snippet. Here is where it plays into my customer journey. When they tell me they're interested in X, I'm going to deliver them content of X. And that takes, going back to dynamic content, it takes taxonomy, it takes tagging, it takes data to truly enable those customer journeys and those experiences. The fourth pillar we'll talk about is real-time decisions and optimization. So this is really about, once you have your data and you have your foundation at data level, know who my customer is, know who I'm talking to, and I have my dynamic content that allows me to tailor my message and my content based on what those behaviors tell me throughout that journey. Then you want to react, you want to learn, you want to test, you want to learn, you want to attribute. Maybe your first party information, and I know what customer A did. But now I want to look at the behaviors of all those customers that look like customer A, and that's attribution. And then you really respond and adjust. So you truly need the technology underneath all of this to make those real-time decisions and optimizations happen. And that's where the technology stack really comes to life when you're truly orchestrating those full experiences. It gives you the opportunity. You want to make sure that you're agile. You can respond and adjust. And it might just not necessarily take a village to support this. If you have the right technology and tools in place, it does take people, process, and that technology stack to stay on your game, right? Stay on your A game when it comes to making real-time decisions, optimizing based on the learnings, and applying those changes on the fly. And that's the power of these tools. It's the power of the technology. It's the power of the foundation. And when you build it, customers react. They definitely appreciate the correct messaging at the right time. If I go and I buy a boat, don't try to sell me a boat next time. I want to get the life jackets. I want to get the skis and whatnot off, as a follow-up. So it's really about that right message delivery based on my purchase and my behaviors as a customer, and ensuring that you have the right content to tailor to me at the right time. So again, just to summarize the points that we were making previously, what does it truly take to orchestrate a customer experience? The technology allows you to have a foundation, but it truly starts with having that actionable data. It's the hub of your experiences. Ensuring that you have a framework and a clear strategy around content to enable that dynamic content and bringing forward that content in the right way to that person based on who you know and their behaviors, and having the technology to orchestrate the delivery for the customer journey, delivering on that content to that person using the technology available to push that content out to them. And then that allows you, between the data, the content, and the journey orchestration, allows you to get to a place where real-time decisioning, true optimization can happen. And then that allows you to get to your, grow in your maturity level. You don't need to start huge. You can start small and then grow. But the core is having a foundation to build from and then continuing to add on to it and invest in the people, invest in the process on top of the technology stack that allows you to bring it forward.